Technology, are we ready? Okay. Well, I'm thrilled to be out here at Queensborough Hall again in the heart of our great borough. I'm Jana Lieber, I'm the MTA Chair and CEO, and I'm here with Demetrius Critchlow, the President of New York City Transit, which includes the bus system, not just subways, and paratransit too, and the one and only Donovan Richards, the Queensborough President. Today, we are excited to be announcing some new details on the rollout of the Queens bus network redesign. Demetrius is going to explain the details in just a minute, but first, I want to emphasize adding 16 new routes and redesigning over 100 routes, which haven't been looked at in generations. This is a big deal. On top of actually redesigning the system, we are investing $34 million a year more in service to create additional frequency and, importantly, more direct, better connections. We're going to be working to move people very quickly from the neighborhoods right to Long Island Railroad stations to subway stations, so folks even who are in what we used to call the two-fare zone have a much better commute. So we are excited about that. I should have mentioned it, also expanding overnight options, so you have more 24/7 bus service, another big thing for the most bus-dependent borough. This was a huge undertaking, this whole process, and we did 250 public outreach events, 250. Over the last 5 years, there were 18,000 public comments that were incorporated into what we produced, and we did it that way because this is what today's MTA is doing. We're not afraid to do the hard work, 250 sessions and all those comments. We're not afraid to do the hard work no matter the noise and, frankly, no matter the snark that we're getting, whether it's from Washington or elsewhere. And most important, we listen to our customers, the riding public. And I want to acknowledge all of the Queens bus riders who came to those outreach events, who gave us public comments. I want to acknowledge the community boards. They were all over this, and we went and met with each of them, and they gave us feedback as well. There were civic groups, and of course, because it's New York, there were transit advocates, bus advocates, and they all played a huge part in getting us to this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 800,000 people in Queens who depend on buses every day. That's roughly the same bus customer base as the entire city of Los Angeles, which is the second biggest bus system in the country after New York. So Queens, again, I know you love to say it, Queens is number one by itself in terms of bus ridership. If buses are too slow to get people where they need to go, then we gotta speed them up. Whether it's through these bus network redesigns that we're here celebrating today, automatic camera enforcement, which is working. People are getting the message, gotta stay out of the bus lane, gotta stay out of the bus stop, or even congestion pricing, which is allowing us to move buses much, much faster in the congestion zone, and even some buses that are coming from Queens into Manhattan are going much, much faster. So I want to thank everybody at the MTA who worked so hard on this plan. Evan Bialowstotsky, I think I got that right. Rick Hayduk, Andre Prigov, Ryan Wilkerson, Lola Vera Sullivan, Evan Mancini, and the entire team at Ops Planning. You know who you are, amazing folk, led by Chris Pangilinan. And the GCR team, Lucille, Songhai, and everybody else at GCR who makes our relationship with Queens, I think, pretty strong. So I also need to always recognize the advocacy community. We are blessed to have a powerful transit advocacy world in New York, and they are difference makers for the MTA and for our customers. And also, thank you, Governor Hochul, and the other leaders in Albany and elsewhere who have pushed along the entire transit agenda. We're waiting for a budget that will determine whether or not we have a capital program that allows us to keep making progress on every different aspect of transit. We don't always agree, all of us, in this pro-transit world that we've got, but we always have the same goal, to make the transit system for New Yorkers a heck of a lot better. We are getting there, and it's being reflected also in the customer satisfaction numbers that are coming back month after month, and I am thrilled with that. A lot of the credit goes to the next speaker, Demetrius Krishlow, president of New York City Transit. Hello. And I just want to acknowledge, before we move on to that, Denise Mendes, who is the Assistant Commissioner of New York City DOT.
Thank you, Jano. You know what? This has truly been a labor of love. It took place over Queens, making sure that Queens felt the love. New York City's transit acknowledges the work that goes on in Queens and the vitality of Queens and making sure that they have a great commute. It's been over 5 years in trying to make sure that we got this right. You know, when you go so long without changing things for the commuter of those who are in Queens, we had to get this right. So we took the time in making sure that we pushed to get this across the finish line. Jano mentioned it earlier, 800,000 riders in Queens that were just waiting and ready for this. You know, this new network has 124 new routes, 94 local and 30 express. These routes give you a couple of good things. One, they're more direct, there's better connectivity, and it gets you to where you need to really get, which is connections to the subway, connections to the Long Island Railroad. But I can tell you that me personally, what I'm most excited about is the 25 new rush routes, which is kind of like an express guide, an express style train, but bus, that gets you to where you need to go. Stops at all the local stops, and then gets you to the connecting point that you need to get to. That's what we want to offer customers, a new and improved way to experience their commute. We're also going to be rolling this out in 2 phases. Important to know that phase 1 will occur June 29th, which will have 16 new routes that will launch and 67 route changes. Phase 2 comes August 31st, and that will have 1 new route and 37 new route changes. All of this is going to be rolled out with one really cool interactive route change where you could actually look on our website and see how your route has changed and how you should be adjusting your commute to be able to make sure you have the best seamless transportation. You could also access the latest information over all of the 124 routes right on the website, just as we talked about. We're working hand in hand with our partners at DOT to make sure we change the bus stop signage at all of these locations in advance of the change. So you're going to start seeing those things start to roll out. And we're also installing signage at guide-a-ride boxes on bus stop poles to highlight the changes so that they know these things are coming. This is a big moment for Queens. It's a big moment for our city, and it's a historic moment for our bus system. This new and improved bus network from Queens is only 1 stop away. So next, I'll hand it over to the distinguished Queens Borough President, Donovan Richards.
Wow, distinguished. Good morning, Queens, and what a great morning to be here. First off, let me thank both Jano and Demetrius. Thank you and your team. Lucille, thank you to the entire team that got us to this moment. It was a huge undertaking. Of course, when you have 800,000 daily bus riders, you got 800,000 different opinions in Queens. Being the borough president of Queens, 2.4 million, I have to deal with 2.4 million opinions every day as well. But it is great to see this plan really come into fruition. You think about how Queens has grown so much, but our bus routes did not keep up with the changes that we've seen. So today is really a good day as we now are able to upgrade and update these routes. So now all that's left for all of us to do, we're a little early today, is to make sure that all of our neighbors are informed of these changes. And I'm going to give a quick plug to the MTA's website, mta.info/QueensBus, and that's where you'll be able to get updated information. Go there, look up your route, of course, and be informed of the changes that are coming your way. Because at the end of the day, this is really about ensuring that everyone is informed. And this borough, for many of our bus riders, they've had to endure a lot. I'm one of those individuals who lived in Far Rockaway and have to take the 113, transfer to the E, get to the set Q70, and it was easier, I always joke, which is true, easier to get to Manhattan, get to Florida by plane to Manhattan by bus and train, certainly for many of our communities here in Queens. But we're changing that. It's a new day. So really go out, look up your routes, make sure you're informed. At the end of the day, no one should be forced to endure long wait times, slow commute times, and packed buses. And I'm really grateful because this is not just an investment in the routes. There's actual money being invested to make sure that we can have more regular service. 34 million? Yep. Queens get the money. Queens get the money. With that being said, congratulations to everyone who really did make their voices heard through this process. I really want to thank the MTA for doing the right thing. Let me say this. We didn't get it right every time, but I really want to thank them for the community outreach. This is the way community outreach should be conducted, no matter what your agency is in this city and state. And I'm very grateful for their partnership in helping to get this over the line. Congratulations, Queens.
And now I'm going to invite the Assistant Commissioner of City DOT to speak. They play an important role to make sure that we have bus lanes and where there is other traffic management to make sure that these new routes actually deliver faster, more reliable service, and we're really counting on them to make good on that. But Commissioner, go ahead.
Good morning. I'd like to thank Chairman Lieber, Transit President Critchlow, and Vice President Anincaro, as well as Borough President Richards, for inviting me to be part of this important announcement. I'm honored to join you today on behalf of New York City DOT's Commissioner Adonis Rodriguez. Bus drivers really help hundreds of millions of riders each year to get to where they're going. The majority of riders are from working and middle-class communities. So in Queens, we know that over 50% of residents rely on public transit for daily commutes. This is why it is more important, and now more than ever, to ensure our transportation system is improving accessibility, improving safety, as well as the health and quality of life for all New Yorkers. It feels great to say, starting this summer, bus riders in Queens, the world's borough, will get to experience an enhanced, efficient, and modern bus network, holistically designed for the future, not the past. The city has always supported small and large projects across the 5 boroughs, focused on making our transportation system more reliable, more efficient, and more accessible for New Yorkers. We're proudly here to support the implementation of the Queens Bus Network redesign to improve bus service through simplified routing and improve connections to important destinations. New York City DOT has certainly built a record of amount bus priority infrastructure in recent years, now totaling over 150 bus lane miles across the city. Working alongside the MTA, this administration has made significant improvements to improve bus speeds, as well as the reliability of close to over 800,000 bus riders with complementary infrastructure, including new bus lanes, enforcement, expanded enforcement, upgrades to existing street designs. So in Queens, we've installed significant amount of bus lanes, whether it be through Northern Boulevard, 21st Street, as well as making the busways along Main Street, Jamaica Avenue, and Archer Avenues permanent. Together, these busways serve significant amount of riders here in Queens, and that has sped up buses as much as 50%. So we'll continue to develop and implement and deliver on bus priority infrastructure improvements across New York City, and specifically here in Queens, to complement the New York network redesign service changes. I certainly want to acknowledge the great teams at DOT that are supporting this work, specifically the Transit Development Planning and Policy team led by Chris Rones, as well as our bus stop management team led by TJ, or Tajinder Jasal, and countless others. We look forward to continuing our partnership with the MTA as we work together to enhance the customer experience across our public transportation system. Thank you for your continued collaboration and dedication to serving New Yorkers.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the raucous applause. I want to give our press team a chance to acknowledge that we had a couple other folks who have joined us. Do we need to give them a chance to set up? Are they good? Everybody good?
Everyone's good.
All right. Did you get the feed, Greg? You have the feed? You're multitasking? Because we said a lot of brilliant stuff just moments ago and you missed it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, I don't have to recap for you then. Okay, good. So with that, we'll answer some questions. The role of Tim Minton will be played by Ray Raimondo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. Good morning to everyone, and thank you so much for our speakers. Our first question is going to come from Queens Chronicle. Stephanie Meditz has a question.
Stephanie.
Hi, good afternoon. Well, it's still morning, so
Yeah.
good morning. So I know that going into the bus network redesign, there was a pretty lengthy public comment period.
Yeah.
And based on my coverage of some local community boards, I know there are still some folks who are concerned about how the redesign is going to affect their commute. So first of all, I guess I want to know what you would say to people who are worried that the plan might make their commute a little bit more difficult. And I also wanted to know if there would be any further considerations to the plan after it has begun being implemented.
Sure, and thank you for the question. I would, first of all, I'd refer back to the comment by the borough president. You know, obviously in a county of 2.4 million people, you're going to have a lot of different opinions. So it's not going to make everybody thrilled at the same moment. But here's the things I would say. One, there was enormous consultation, a lot of public input, and I think that this is going to improve things, faster, more reliable service. Let's all give it a chance. Change is hard. Everybody, you know, when you move a bus stop a block, and there are some bus stop moves in here, there will be people who initially find that inconvenient. But look, we got to look and give the whole thing a chance to play out and see if we really can capture the advantages that we really believe are buried in this. Remember, if we're avoiding bad congestion areas, we can get people faster to where they want to go. If these new routes do connect them to the railroad and to the subway more quickly, that's going to be a plus for everybody. If instead of going to a trolley terminal that was knocked down 50 years ago, which literally some of the existing routes do, you actually went to where people want to go, whether it's shopping or an amenity that they want to visit or just to get between neighborhoods, that's a net benefit. Let's give it a chance, and we will look for opportunities to tweak it over time.
All right, I'm going to take you to your stage left, and Greg Mocker from Pix 11.
Hello, team. The Queens design, did that have a certain degree of difficulty? It's the biggest one,
Yeah.
The lack of kind of subway connections. Could you talk about the challenges maybe facing this one? And then we still have the Brooklyn one kind of up next. What happens next?
This is the most bus-dependent county in the United States. We have, you know, this is New York. You have lower rates of car ownership, and because of history, unlike many other boroughs, there's less subway service relative to population than in other parts of New York City. So this is the most bus-dependent community in the United States, and certainly in New York. 800,000 daily riders of the bus system, a lot of folks who are not close to subway or commuter rail. So we have to get it right. Was it challenging? Yeah, it took 5 years. Why did it take 5 years? Because we listened, because we did 250 outreach sessions, because we took account of 18,000 comments and we factored it into the end product, and we really collaborated with key stakeholders like our borough president and the community boards and other electeds. So it was difficult, and it's worth it, and net, not only are we changing things and adding 16 routes and changing 100+ routes, but we're adding money, more service, especially on the overnight, more 24-hour service, $34 million a year.
Could we address the Brooklyn one? What are there other boroughs have been taken care of with the Bronx and Staten Island? But how about what's happening in Brooklyn or
Sure.
Manhattan?
As soon as we finish the Queens rollout, the team is already staged and prepared to start the Brooklyn bus network redesign up next. I think that the key thing that the chairman focused on is connectivity, making sure that we got connection to train lines and to the Long Island Railroad. The same thing will be considered when we do the Brooklyn section. Like, what are the major points that we can benefit from? And again, for me, the most exciting part has been the rush routes. What are the further away locations that we can stop here, a couple stops, and then get folks to where they need to go?
All right, any other questions? All right, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. Oh, you do have a question, yes. Say your name and where you're from.
Hi, Catalina Ganello with WNYC and Gothamist. I have an off-topic, if that's okay. I wanted to ask if the MTA is worried about the tariffs and if it'll increase the cost of construction projects and the impact on the capital plan, and if that's being sort of reworked to estimate for that.
It probably will. I can't tell you with certainty, but we do have a team of people immediately analyzing it. Listen, when you're dealing with complex technology, there is a worldwide supply chain. Even when we build subway cars in New York State, which we do build most of our subway cars in the state of New York, there are parts that come from all over the world. Too early to say what the impact will be. Obviously, the tariffs are just an early days work in progress, but it could have significant impacts. We're evaluating.
All right, Mr. Chairman, Michelle Charlesworth from WABC is here.
Thank you, thank you.
Hi, Michelle.
Specific question about a gentleman who owns a place, a sushi place in Forest Hills. Porta potty in front, a lot of construction going on, trying to make it ADA accessible, the LIRR. He says it's cost him $300,000. Just wondering what, maybe you could move it from in front of his business?
Listen, we'll take a look at that. We always work with the local businesses. This is an important project. We have a major railroad station that needs to be made ADA accessible. We are years and years overdue to make sure that everybody, whether you're a person with disability or a parent with a stroller, can get on and use the railroad. So we have to do the work. We always work with the local businesses. I don't know that specific case, but having had it brought to attention to us, we're definitely going to look at what the situation is.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.